So beefs are one of the best parts of sports. Hell, Secret Base has a very excellent series where they cover various beefs from sports history, and they got a lot of classics from the NBA, LeBron and Lance, Carmelo and George Karl, Chris Paul and Rondo. But one of the dumber beefs we have going on in the NBA world right now is the Noah Lyles beef.
It all started when he gave us that world champions of what quote. NBA players are clapping back then, that extended to the Olympics and everything. And it's been entertaining. He makes some valid points, but at the same time, this shit's getting annoying at this point.
Before we start talking about Noah Lyles, if you haven't already, make sure to leave this video a like, give us a subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on one of our videos. So all this got kicked off after the 2023 NBA Finals at the World Athletic Championships in Budapest when Noah Lyles was taking questions from reporters, and one of the questions that he fielded was about how track athletes, how high profile they are in the US compared to other countries. Obviously, they're not very high profile. And Lyles answered the question before giving basically an unprompted shot at the NBA, saying how it, quote, hurt him the most that the winner of the NBA Finals calls themselves the world champions. He gave that, quote, world champion of what? The United States? That prompted a firestorm of criticism and hatred from the very level-headed folks over at NBA Twitter, but also some NBA players chimed in. Draymond chimed in, Durant, and Devin Booker.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see the NBA players clapping back, and I do get his point. Like I said, it's a valid point. Dude's competing against people from around the world in his sport, and again, they are in the NBA as well, but it is just in North America, it's just in the United States and Canada, and they call themselves the world champions. But some of the gimmick has gotten out of control. I mean, he doubled down 1 year later by saying he didn't know who Nikola Jokic was. I mean, now keep in mind the original statement about the NBA was after the 2023 finals, so it was referring to the Nuggets as the championship team.
Don't know how you could have missed Jokic if you watched that series.
He was also quoted in a Times article recently talking about how he didn't want to attend an Adidas event for Anthony Edwards. This one I kind of get. I mean, from his perspective, he is much more accomplished in his sport than Anthony Edwards is in his sport. But at the same time, you got to realize Anthony Edwards is a huge name. You don't got to be butthurt about being asked to attend an event.
Yeah, also, I don't think you need to give a reason for not wanting to attend what's essentially just a corporate work event. Because not many people want to attend those. Also, after the US lost in the 2023 FIBA World Cup, Noah Lyles liked to tweet basically just making fun of them, which is a super cool thing to do to your fellow countrymen.
Bro's a grade A hater. Kind of respect the hating to an extent, but again, why are we, rooting against Americans? It should be all for Americans, but like I said, I respect the hating to an extent.
But he's also extended his feud to the NFL. He's now feuding with Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill. It's gone so far that Tyreek actually challenged Lyles to a 50-yard race. And personally, I find this beef to be one of the dumbest things going on right now, just me personally. Some might argue it's all in good fun, it's just people are trying to get their Twitter engagements up, their Twitter impressions up. I'm sure there are some people who are doing that, but I also see a lot of fans online who genuinely dislike this guy, and I find it ridiculous because like you mentioned earlier, and some NBA fans may not like this, specifically the American ones, but he's right.
I mean, during the Olympics, people were actively rooting against him, which is crazy.
People were hate watching track.
Americans hate watching Americans in a track event, and he quickly shut them up. He won gold in the 100 meters, so for a moment everything was going good, and then they came out in full force when he won bronze, which is honestly hilarious. You got a bunch of people tweeting from their couch making fun of this dude for winning bronze, and he still won a medal at the fucking Olympics.
Yeah, but like I said, he's fucking right. The champion of the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, they're not the world champions. They're the champions of their own league. Hell, even when Real Madrid won the Champions League, when they beat Dortmund, they were not hailed as the world champions. They were hailed as the champions of Europe because the Champions League encompasses only teams from, wait for it, Europe. Imagine how fucking stupid it would be if the MLS champ was oh, we're the world champ. Man. I get why it's an argument for the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, because oh, well, we have the best teams in the world here. But again, that's a different argument. Best team in the world versus world champion. It's two completely different things.
Okay, but the NFL saying it at the same time is so
comical.
Damn funny because no other country in the world cares about the NFL, really participates in it. So you're just calling calling yourself the world champion, which I guess, I mean, we're about to see flag football coming to the Olympics in 2028.
Well, I mean, every single country in the world is basically just America, right?
Yeah, exactly. Who even cares about anything beyond our borders?
Every country in the world belongs to America.
And also, it is kind of weird that NBA players or fans even care, because we're really talking about semantics. Like, any team that wins the NBA championship, the Boston Celtics, we know are the best team in the world. If they take on Real Madrid, their basketball team, they're working those boys. So I don't understand why people even really care. Like, if the Blazers won a title, we sure as hell wouldn't care. You can call us whatever the hell you damn want. We would just be happy to have the finals.
As long as we have that trophy.
But really, I mean, the reason he is doing all this, like, dude's making money off of it.
Yep.
Dude's following has increased so much. Like, I can't name, like, many track stars, men's or women's, like Usain Bolt, Sha'Carri Richardson. I know her on the women's side.
Those are the only two I would have been able to give you.
And Noah Lyles now. So it's working out for him. I mean, just the fact that he was on Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharp's podcast, that is insane that this track star, I know he's very accomplished, would be on their podcast, because in any other scenario where he didn't ever bring this up, there's no shot anyone would know who he is.
Yeah, I mean, back when this all started in 2023, I think he had like 400,000 Instagram followers. And in the month of August in 2023, he gained 100,000 followers. Like, when this whole thing kicked off, he gained 100,000 followers in a month, which is insane. And like, he gets it. He knows basketball and football in the US are infinitely more popular than track. It's what it is. And before August of 2023, no one outside of the track and field world knew who Noah Lyles was. Now he's a fucking household name that has become such a big deal that, like we said earlier, NBA fans were hate watching track and field. Not only NBA fans, but NBA players were doing it. Josh Hart admitted to doing it.
The Josh Hart one was so damn funny. Again, it's so funny because you got Americans hate watching Americans. I mean, personally, not a huge Noah Lyles fan. I'm tired of the gimmick, but at the same time, I still want him to win gold because I'm still looking at that counter. It helps Team USA, baby.
But like, the Chinese are catching up to us. Like, we need all the medals we can get.
Exactly.
I mean, it got so bad that even the US basketball Twitter account tweeted after they won gold, "Are we the world champions?" Like, a US Olympic team was taking a direct shot at another US Olympic athlete who was also in France competing for medals. That's how much we lost the plot with this guy.
I mean, that shit was valid and that shit was funny, and I would have tweeted the exact same thing if I was running that account. And they are the world champions now, so he can't talk anymore, but at the same time, I mean, he got his gold, so he's the world champions too. I mean, can't we all just be happy? We're all world champions.
We're all
over
Americans.
Here.
We're the best at everything.
And I mean, you do kind of realize why he's upset. Like, he is very dominant in his own sport. He's competing against all these track stars across the world. I mean, we even get jealous sometimes. Like, we see, you know, huge YouTube channels and everything, and we're like, damn, why can't we be those guys?
Pulling 3 million views a video. It's just like, whoa.
Why can't we be getting that notoriety? But at the same time, you gotta just appreciate all the fans you got. Shout out to everyone watching these videos.
We just hit 70,000 subscribers. 2 goofs on this website just talking about basketball. Like, how fucking cool is that?
I mean, really, I don't think he's playing this too seriously. I think he's just kind of playing the gimmick, the villain role. Sure, are people gonna hate him? Yes, but I mean, he's getting more followers. More people are gonna be watching his events. I don't know if the dude's got merch, but if he does, people are probably buying it now.
Does he have a Patreon you can subscribe to?
He's got something where he's making money off this, so I understand the gimmick. I'm tired of it, especially like the Tyreek Hill one where he knew the nickname Cheetah but didn't know who Tyreek Hill was. That made no sense, but I mean, I get it, and to be honest, I kind of respect it a bit.
Yeah, how far do you think he's gonna go with this? You think we're gonna get to a point where he's like, I don't know who LeBron is?
That would be out of pocket. Who the hell is Michael Jordan?
Tom Brady? I'm not familiar with the name. Yeah, I mean, the thing that pisses me off the most, like you mentioned it, I don't think he's taking this like super seriously, but the fact that he just throws like the most obvious bait in the world out there and NBA fans just devour it like a pack of hungry piranhas. You're doing exactly what he wants you to do. You're keeping his name in the news because track is not going to be in like the sports news cycle for another 4 years. That's the video, guys. What do you think of Noah Lyles' beef with the NBA? I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving it a like, as it really does help us out. And while you're here, why not check out some of our other videos as well? And don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.